Kim represents long-term preservation, what is very, very important for journals, especially for journals published in small countries and small journals. You know, sometimes when you are a researcher, you thinking, what about my article published in this journal after a year? After maybe they will close this journal. What then happened? And today Kim will speak about long-term preservation. And I hope we will have more members from Lithuania in those projects.
Good morning. So this talk is about the importance of archiving. And there was a pretty good definition of what digital preservation is from 2007. I believe it was a working group within the ALA tasked with coming up with a definition. So it's digital preservation combines policies, strategies, and actions that ensure access to digital content over time. The biggest threats to content is format obsolescence, media, hardware, software obsolescence and failure, economic failure, natural disaster, and humans. Thank you. We know that archiving is important because we see a market demand by libraries for independent third parties to preserve electronic content. We see centrally managed preservation of national collections is being preserved on national soil for safekeeping. And we have conversations with publishers who want to be good stewards of their content. Preservationists become keepers of content in case a trigger event is needed. And that would be if publisher failure and there's no pickup of their assets, if a journal is discontinued and a publisher removes access, or a disaster disrupts a publisher's availability for an extended period of time. So the value of preservations to libraries, preservation becomes kind of an insurance policy for the readers of the content, for the libraries who purchase and manage the content. And in the event of a trigger event, it would provide libraries with access to archived content when it becomes lost or orphaned or abandoned, if a publisher ceases operations or discontinues a title or drops back file. What is not preservation is a few things. Commercial hosting, while it's a worthwhile service and there's some wonderful hosts out there, it's not preservation. Content is generally behind a subscription wall and generally for the duration of an agreement. Aggregated databases, and they're wonderful services as well, EBSCO, ProQuest, and Gale, will be a collection of multiple titles and multiple publishers, but again available for a subscription and probably only as long as the publisher has an agreement with the aggregator. Journal hosting platforms fall in the same category, Edipon, Highwire, and Genta, and others. And ebook platforms, the content is generally only available as long as the publisher has an agreement with the platform provider. So there's two types of digital preservation archives: the global archives like CLOCKS, LOCKS, and Portico, and regional archives like the British Library and Dutch KB. And generally, the content is only available in the host country and very often only within their own buildings. So I can tell you a little bit more about CLOCKS history and what we're doing. CLOCKS began in 2006 when several of the world's largest scholarly publishers and top research libraries were challenged by the responsibility to preserve digital scholarly assets for the good of the entire community. They joined forces and built a global dark archive for the very long term. It's a unique collaboration. It's libraries and publishers working on a board together, making decisions. So with a commitment to open access. And so today we have a not-for-profit organization, CLACS, which is governed transparently and democratically by participants all over the world. We really have four principles. We're community governed. We have a global approach to decentralized preservation. We use proven technology. We use the LOX software, and with a commitment to open access. So CLACS is designed to share responsibility of archiving across the global academic community. Our publishers and librarians have equal say on procedures, priorities, and trigger events. And again, CLACS is committed to transparent, community-based governance. These are the individuals from our governing libraries that serve on our board. And these are the individuals from publishers that serve on our board. Our executive director, Randy Keeper, is currently searching to fill one more spot for a publisher. So these are the nodes where the content is preserved. There's 12 nodes situated around the world. It's a closed system, and they back each other up. So we have a node in Australia, several in the US, Canada, Hong Kong, Germany, Japan, Italy, and the UK. We use the LOX technology. It's an award-winning preservation technology. And LOX has been up and running for 15 years, and it has evolved to be able to preserve new content types. The LOX technology has been adapted for dark archive functionality and for use by CLACS. We went through an audit last year by CRL, and we scored a 13 out of 15 overall, but we were pretty proud that the technology won a perfect 5 in the technology category. So we're committed to open access. So if a trigger event were to occur, we triggered open access. And that would happen if a publisher is no longer in business, no longer provides access, and there's no successor interest, reversions, or transfer of rights. And in these cases, our board would vote to trigger on the content. This could also happen if back issues are no longer available, the publisher no longer provides access, and there are no successor interests. And it could also happen in the case of a catastrophic failure and the publisher is not able to provide access. So we look at the CLACS community in 3 parts. There's the users, the scholars and students and readers of electronic academic content, librarians who purchase and manage content on behalf of the users, and the publishers of the content. So the CLACS archive delivers services to each component of our community, and by providing a sustainable, geographically distributed dark archive that ensures long-term survival of web-based publications. In the case of a trigger event, the scholars and students and readers are provided with free open access content that would otherwise have become inaccessible. Librarians are reassured that the content they purchase will remain available to their readers, and publishers are relieved of the responsibility of providing access to content in the event that they can no longer do so. But having said that, the dark archive does not allow access until it's been triggered. And these are just some of our statistics. Since 2010, we've grown from 86 library supporters to over 725. 33 publishers to 200, and we've increased